Good evening, everybody. So, been flicking through YouTube and I've noticed there's a few people triggered by my physique. There's a few people that are making some claims that I'm on steroids. There's a few people that are clearly triggered by me being natural and just don't believe it. Now, first and foremost, when I'm posting the videos on my shorts of me with my top off, tensing up, looking at me physique and recording it, it's good lighting. I've got a good pump on, and the camera angle's right. It's one of them things. Now, what the things I'm doing to achieve this look has nothing to do with steroids. I am literally training 3 times a day, 6 days a week, and even on my day off, I'm still doing something. Whether it be a light session on a bag, or a light jog, or a light strength and conditioning. But it is my day off. When I have a day off, I take I take a step off the intensity. What I am doing to achieve the look that I've got now to stay at heavyweight is I am doing circuits every afternoon, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I'll do push pull circuit. That's what I'll do. A push pull circuit. No, I'll do a push circuit on a Monday, I'll do a pull circuit on a Wednesday, and then I'll do a push circuit on a Friday. Now, I'm up every single morning running. I get my road working 3 times a week as well. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Tuesday and Thursday, I box every night. I box every single day. I'll do pads or sparring. I spar twice a week and I do pads every single day. I run Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'll do between 4 and 6k, 4, 5 or 6k, depending on how I'm feeling, depending on how fast I've gone. I'll do that 3 times a week. I like me spinning. I do like to do a lot of spinning. I have my own bike in my back garden, which I'll do for extras and stuff like that on the night time. My food. Now I'm sponsored by a food prep company called Macro Based Diet. I work under a dietitian called Mike Hind. Now I've got our food bang on. The reason I look the way I look is because I am working extremely hard every single day in the gym, 3 times a day. Each session lasts an hour to an hour and a half. I'm at boxing tonight at 7:30. And when I finish boxing at 7:30, I've had all my food already. I've had 5 meals already today, and all them meals consist of chicken, perfect amount of protein, carbs, and my vegetables for all my vitamins and stuff. Now, I'm also sponsored by Sure Pure, who supply me with all the necessary vitamins. I get Shilajit, I get sea moss, I get lion's mane, I get I get all my vitamins, I get everything. I do protein shakes twice a day. I have casein protein, which is a long-lasting protein which I take overnight. Everything is weighed, everything is measured, everything is on time. The way I'm training since my injury for my neck, has been on point. I'm fit, I'm flying, I'm sitting anywhere between 102 to 106, give or take a good shite. I'm having my fat days where it gets to Saturday or Sunday. I'll gorge, I'll eat, I'll get a takeaway, I'll get a parmo. Everything I'm doing to achieve the look that I've got now is on point and has nothing to do with steroids. I take all the necessary tests, blood. I get all my blood work done every 3 or 4 months. Everything's on point. Everything's on point. Now, I knew when I started posting these videos on my shorts that people were gonna, and I was putting natural and stuff like that, people were always gonna come at me. I knew they were gonna, natural athlete. I just thought I'd get these people triggered. Now, I appreciate you guys who are accusing me of taking steroids because I understand the work that I put in. And for people to say, oh, you look like you're taking steroids or you are on steroids, 100% you're on gear. Listen, I have got photos and videos from when I was lifting back in the day, doing bodybuilding and taking PEDs. You know, I look a lot better than what I do now. A lot bigger, veins popping everywhere, traps were bigger, my arms were a lot bigger. You know, I was a lot bigger than what I am. You can tell the difference from when I'm taking PEDs to when I'm not. You know, this is just pure hard work and dedication and consistency. You know, I am 39-year-old. You know, I seen a comment which I had to laugh, because they said, you've took this much steroids and you'll have high cholesterol, blood pressure, and you've probably knocked so many years off your life. Now, I was very fortunate enough to be brought up around bodybuilding. You know, my dad was a bodybuilder. My dad is very educated around bodybuilding, and I got into it at a very early age. You know, I think I was about 16, 17 when I decided to get into bodybuilding, and I absolutely loved bodybuilding. You know, I found that I've got good genetics for it. You know, I got strong very quickly. You know, my shoulders and my chest ballooned up, my forearms and my biceps got big dead quick. You know, and I had good genetics for it. You know, by the time I was 18, 19, you know, I started to think about steroids. You know, so I turned to my dad. My dad's my best mate. My dad's my hero. My dad is, there's no bloke like my dad. You know, so I sat down and I spoke to him about it, and he said, look, so he educated me. You know, he sat down, he told me, you know, we went through everything. My old man educated me around PED usage, what's good, what's not, you know, high dosages, and, you know, all the necessary stuff. You know, and that's what I did. You know, I never, ever, ever overdid my PED usage when I was doing the bodybuilding. You know, I always took extremely low dosages. I didn't need to take high dosage. I had really good genetics. You know, and I wasn't planning on standing on a stage anytime soon, so I didn't really need to look at upping the dosages and stuff like that. I'll be straight up with you. You know, I did take PEDs, you know, on and off for a long time. You know, even when I first come on YouTube, I used to talk about my PED usage all the time. You know, and I think that's one thing I've always tried to be, is transparent. I've always tried to be honest around the things that are close to my heart: mental health, addiction, training, you know, autism, all this stuff. You know, I will not buy into nonsense and bullshit. Any lies that get brought up about me, or shit that gets spread about me, I don't need to address them, because they become relevant. You know, the position that I'm in now, you know, I don't need to lie. You know, we as fighters do get tested. You know, especially the likes of the BKFC, you know, you're bad to the bones, your top promotions and organisations will test you. You know, you can't be seen taking steroids. You know, if that comes up, you'll all be the first to know. You know, I'm pretty sure if it comes out where I get caught cheating, taking steroids on these big shows, then, you know, YouTube will probably be the first. YouTube will find out before I do. That's what happens with YouTube. Yeah. So I thought I'd do this content. You know, there's a lot of people say, oh, why do you buy into it? Why do you do this? I just enjoy making content. I enjoy explaining myself. I enjoy buying into it. It's not so much buying into it because I'm not triggered. You know, I'm not bothered. I read these comments and it gives me something to talk about. You know, it gives me something to come on. I'm not too fussed about this YouTube journey as much as I used to be, you know, but I still do like coming on. I still appreciate the following that I've got. I still appreciate the support that I get, you know, and I even appreciate the negative shit that comes my way now. You know, if it's not too negative and it's just people's opinions, then I can read them and I can take them on board. You know, if it's people just attacking me for no reason and talking about my family or my kids, or, you know, chatting shit in the comments, then you just get removed. You just lose the privilege to comment on my channel, or lose the privilege for me to read it. It's simple as that, you know, and I can do that. Guess why? Because it's my channel, you know, but this channel is still growing, you know, and I'm happy with it. So that's why I'll always still come back to YouTube, you know. I get a lot of messages. I have, you know, a lot of people that enjoy my content, and you know, I'll keep coming on. But yeah, anyway, this is one of the longest videos I've done in a long time. God bless, guys. Take care.